I was reviewing the final arrangements for my wedding when my phone vibrated on the table. I picked it up casually, expecting another vendor update, but the message on the screen froze me in place. It was short, direct, and carefully written, as if every word had been chosen to avoid blame. We've decided to keep the same wedding date. I didn't react right away. I didn't feel shocked or angry. What I felt was something colder, heavier, like the confirmation of a thought I'd been pushing away for weeks. She wasn't just family. She was the person I had grown up being compared to. Same age, same background, same surname, same expectations placed on us, but somehow different rules. When she did well, it was because she was special. When I did well, it was because circumstances helped me. That difference had followed us quietly from childhood into adulthood. When I got engaged, the family celebrated, but there was a tension I couldn't explain at the time. She hugged me first, tightly, smiling wide enough for everyone to see, but her eyes lingered on my ring just a second too long. 2 weeks later, her engagement was announced. Everyone clapped, everyone smiled, and I noticed how quickly the attention shifted. The venue she chose was larger, the guest list longer, the decorations louder, and when the date was mentioned, my chest tightened. It was the same day as mine. Family calls followed almost immediately. Gentle voices, careful explanations, how it would be difficult for people to attend both, how one event would naturally draw more guests, how they would try to manage it fairly. No one said it directly, but the meaning was clear. Her wedding would take priority. I didn't argue, I didn't complain, and I didn't ask anyone to choose. I simply went quiet. Silence makes people comfortable, and comfort makes them careless. Instead of competing, I shifted focus. I moved my wedding venue not far away, just close enough to stay relevant without inviting comparison. I stopped spending on things that looked impressive and redirected my budget into things that would last. I made calls that didn't involve emotions, a lawyer to finalize documents, a financial advisor to structure something meaningful, a journalist who knew my work and respected discretion. While everyone else was busy comparing outfits and menus, I was building something my family valued more than appearances. They cared deeply about reputation, about being remembered as contributors, not just attendees. So I created a charitable trust in our family name, fully funded, legally registered, and quietly prepared weeks before the wedding. The announcement was written, scheduled, and waiting. I invited fewer guests, not people-chasing celebration, but people who knew my journey, my work, and my consistency. The night before the wedding, I sent my parents a simple message saying that if they wanted to come by after the ceremony, seats would be saved for them. They didn't reply. On the wedding day, traffic flowed steadily toward her grand venue. My hall filled slowly, calmly, without noise or pressure. The ceremony was simple, honest, and grounded in meaning rather than display. Then, right on time, phones across the room began to vibrate. Notifications appeared, messages spread, and headlines followed. Local couple launches major community trust on wedding day. The photos showed us signing documents, not posing for cameras, purpose over performance. My parents saw it while sitting at her ceremony. I know because my phone filled with missed calls and confused messages asking where I was and what was happening. I didn't answer immediately. When they arrived, they paused at the entrance, unsure if they were in the right place. There were no dramatic decorations, no loud music, just a composed room filled with people who carried themselves with quiet confidence. My father stopped to read the plaque near the door. My mother looked around as if she had walked into a chapter she hadn't known existed. I waited before greeting them because timing changes how truth is received. When I finally approached, I smiled and said calmly that I was glad they came. My mother said my name softly, like she was trying to rebuild something fragile. My father started asking questions, but the room answered before I did. They followed me inside, where the trust documents were displayed beside our wedding registry. Clear, official, undeniable. I told them quietly that this was what I had been building while everyone else was busy choosing sides. There was no anger in my voice, no accusation, just clarity. Then she arrived, still in her wedding dress, still expecting attention, applause, validation. She took one look around and understood everything. There was no spotlight left to take, no audience waiting to be impressed, no story left for her to control. She had won the date. I had secured the meaning. Later, when the guests had left and the hall was quiet, I finally let myself breathe deeply. This didn't feel like revenge. It felt like resolution. I hadn't taken anything from her. I had simply stopped making myself smaller so she could feel bigger, and in doing so, I finally stepped into the ending that had always belonged to me.